we weren't live. We're live now.
We're live.
Okay. Live chat.
That would maybe.
I'm on it, fellas. Now we're good.
Gotcha, bud. Gotcha.
Do we have a link for chat or just?
Hey, Ryan.
Hold on.
Man can only move so fast, Ryan.
Okay, I'm just
Jesus.
curious. I'm sorry.
Fucking take a drink, man. Good lord.
So why do you ask about the soccer's kit?
Oh, I just wanted to know how obscure we were getting with our kit wearing, because this is a one of 0.
Oh, this one was like a one-off last season that you can't get anymore. They did one that was like a white version of this year, and I, like Ryan, do not like white kits at all.
Well,
but...
guys, come on.
No.
Okay.
For me, like I would not buy one because being chubby and white do not mix, and I'm a sloppy eater, so.
Me too.
Yeah, it's really the sloppy eater part that kills me, but I still have a white kit.
I'll say it with my Spurs kit that I appreciate Spurs being in the lily white kits. I just don't think I look as flattering in a white kit.
Right? I think that's what it boils down to. Is I don't dislike white kits, like the soccer's kit with the blue shorts.
Yeah,
and the yellow
I
socks
think a
looks
white
iconic,
kit is
but-
clean. It's just I don't think I look as good as a white kit.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
I need some color.
I mean, I don't tan, so I've been trying to fix that by just getting as many tattoos as possible.
That is one way of doing it.
Yep. Yeah, I know it's a weird, I mean, although, like, you're a band teacher, so maybe it's, like, an expected thing. And you can be, like, when the lead singer of Everclear was on Meds to Classified's Gonna Survival Guide. No? Maybe? No? Okay.
I'm familiar
was
with
not
the
a huge-
show. I remember it. I remember it.
Alright, great.
I don't know. I don't have a tattoo, but if I would get one, it'd probably be on my wrist of crossbones for ECU.
I saw a dude at work that had an Eastern Carolina University sweatshirt on today, and I was like, that's exciting. If he wasn't like 50, I would have said something.
Did anyone else check out David's interview on ESPN 10 whatever 72 ESPN Albuquerque?
I started to, and that's why I asked. I was like, is there anywhere to listen to this? Because I played it on my phone, and I could listen to like 30 seconds at a time.
He could definitely ask the station for the audio of it, and probably, as long as he doesn't like mass distribute it, probably get it out to us that way.
I bet it was good. You said it was good.
I enjoyed it. Like I thought they were really smart. How they started with the owner, and then they went to Sandoval, and then they brought in
The PA.
pulling a blank on his name. The guy from the PA. Yeah.
Connor Tobin.
So it was like. I can look it up, but I thought it was like really layered really well because it's like we'll start with the owner. Ah, Bruce, stop! No,
Come on, Bruce.
no one cares. He started with the
Bruce,
owner.
You're still a
and-
good boy.
Oh, he is. He had surgery today, so we're
Oh,
going
no.
after him.
Oh.
He had like a little growth on his side that we got to remove, but he's like
Disgusting.
such a happy-go-lucky dog that they didn't even need to like. They just like.
Did it?
Yeah, they just numbed it locally and just
Oh, neat.
chopped it off and sewed him up. They didn't have to like gas him up or anything.
That's exciting.
So
Good.
yeah, no, I thought he was layered. I thought it was just really layered really well. Brought in a bunch of different viewpoints. So it wasn't just like we're gonna bash the team. It was like the owner said some right things and then said some stuff that I'm like, I'm not so sure. But then Devin Sandoval was really good, and then ending with the Players Association guy was really well done, and I thought kind of painted the picture of where we are and kind of where we want to hopefully be soon.
Cool. I guess we'll start, because that's the thing that happens. Hey everybody, welcome to the USL show, brought to you by the Beautiful Game Network podcast, BGN.FM, Roughneck Scarves, roughneckscarves.com, and Icarus FC, it's icarusfc.com. as well. Check all those wonderful, wonderful folks out. We thank them for sponsoring us. I look forward to getting my Mesopotamia Premier Division kit soon. I think those ship this week coming up, so that'll be exciting. Because I need more soccer jerseys, is really what that comes down to. Anyway.
What team did you get?
I got the Mesopotamia Lions one. It's black with the yellow flowers on it. Because I thought I was gonna, need something summery, but now maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, hiya. Your favorite cheesemonger's favorite cheesemonger, favorite, I don't know, instigator on Twitter sometimes. Evan Valhalla here, your host. As most of the time on the USL show, here with a couple of my friends in a very relaxed stream because, guys, listen, there's still not any domestic soccer being played, so we're just going to hang out for a little bit. The voice that you heard that asked me what kit that I wanted was Ryan Allen. He's here.
Hello, and I'm here to say that Tyler Adams should be the captain of the United States men's national team. In his match today with RB Leipzig, he completed 28 of 28 passes.
It doesn't get better than 100%, so yeah. But I hope he doesn't play wingback for the national team. That would be dumb. Speaking of things that aren't dumb, Alan Underwood here, your teacher out in San Diego. How's it going, my friend?
It is going well. Enjoying the 3-day weekend, I guess, maybe?
Sure.
I don't know. It just doesn't feel different. It's a 3-day weekend in name only, but things are going well.
Good. Is it harder to teach kids syncopated rhythms now that you can't physically do it in person?
This is like my favorite type of teaching ever. Like, if I could teach this way forever, I would just do it. It's so great. Now, it is difficult. I do miss being in the classroom. Yeah. I never thought I'd be like, I miss teaching middle school. I do miss teaching middle school. It's a bummer, but we're working our way through it, just like everything else.
Are you upset at all that there's not promotion or relegation within the ranks of teaching in the state of California? Because there totally is in other states, I guess. Question mark.
It's a loaded question.
I know.
As a union member, I would say I am happy that there's not promotion or relegation. I think that it makes negotiating way more difficult for moving people up and down. And I think each teacher has their place that they deserve to be in.
Speaking of union, and to tease a little something before I introduce, the last other person here. That's a terrible setup. But if I didn't have to do cheesemongery things, we would have had it done this morning, early afternoon. But I have to work. So there's an interview with the player executive triumphant of players from the USLPA coming sometime late next week. That'll drop probably next weekend or the following Monday. I'm not really sure. We're planning on something, but it's weird to try to nail schedules down when I'm the one that has to be important. I like it, but Anyway, so look out for that. It should be an interesting time with Connor or Tom or whoever. I'm actually not too sure who we'll be with yet. We'll get there. Anyway, hey, last but not least, my dear friend, the cream in the Irish coffee that I'm currently drinking. It's Phil Group.
Oh, very nice.
Very nice.
Hello, everybody. I'm hoping it's Tom. I hope it's Tommy Heineman, St. Louis, resident. So that'd be cool.
Well, and then your boy is there too, the keeper.
Is he? Which one? I'm sorry.
No, is that not one of yours?
Who is it? I'm sorry.
I'm going to feel bad, and I'm going to be like, oh, this guy. You'll be like, it's not good at all.
It very well could be. There's a lot of St. Louis. Keepers. Kind of run rampant around MLS and USL.
Trey Mitchell's not one of yours, right? No, okay. Well. Then yes, hopefully it will be Tom Heineman. Who I haven't talked to.
For lots of reasons, though.
I haven't talked to any of those guys before. I know Connor Tobin is a friend of the network, I guess, because I know Jason and the League One Fun guys have had him on in various capacity before. But I think, and I don't know if Ryan or Alan know anything about it, but I think Tom Heineman's been pretty quiet since he retired.
I've been trying to track him down, and he hasn't said hardly anything unless it's player association related. So.
That's fair. I think he's assistant coaching at Belmont now, which is probably it's a really nice school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of music things, it's one of the only universities where you can get a music production degree.
I almost went there. I visited. Was about to go there. Decided not to.
There you go. Yeah, they use the RCA studios, I think.
And I have recorded in them because of that, actually.
Oh,
it's pretty cool.
Check that out. Look at all this random knowledge that I know. See, it's fun. One of my favorite weird cheesemonger person in industry to person in industry kind of jokes is that 80% of the job is knowing answers to questions no one will ever ask you, and that's most of my life.
You love it. You thrive in that situation.
Well,
I think it's your
yeah,
favorite.
but I mean, it's still a thing that I have to deal with. Yeah, air quotes deal with.
But yeah, I got to one since we brought up RCA Studios. I got to record at RCA B and sit and stand and play on instruments in the same buildings as Elvis and Chuck Berry, a lot of other people from back in the day. It was really cool. Good experience. That wasn't a brag. It's just cool.
I mean, it felt a little.
Sorry. It was. I guess.
You were like, well, it was only RCA B, you know.
Well, that's above. Yeah. So here's me trying to be humble.
Yeah.
It was above my status to be as there.
We know. We get it. Guys, I literally have no direction.
Well, Evan, I think we should start.
Yeah.
Your birthday's coming up, and that's kind of one of the reasons we're doing a chill episode here.
It is the golden one. It's 26 and the 26th. Thank you so much for asking. If anyone would like to send me things, you can do that. Just kidding. Just don't. If you want to do anything, go donate to a not-for-profit or support a local business or buy some cheese from someone in your area. There you go. But yeah, I figured, why not talk to people, and if anyone cares, we'll release this, and it'll be all very self-serving.
Well, Ryan, what are you up to, man? You haven't really said a whole lot yet. What's your life like?
Not much. Just kind of been going through grad school classes here in the summer. I have 2 going on right now. Then one will drop out for another one to take its place. So a hydra of classes, if you will. But other than that, just kind of moving towards the eventual graduation in December 2021. Although it's looking more like November 2021, which is pretty good to see.
Because of scheduling changes and all that with COVID?
Yeah, it seems like ECU is going to end up ending their semester closer to November, or prior to Thanksgiving, actually, which is pretty good, because that means I could be on the job market sooner than I would originally plan.
Are they doing the thing that Notre Dame and Purdue are doing?
Not officially, but UNC and NC State have both announced that they're doing that. And considering both of those schools are part of the NC State system, and that ECU typically falls in line with the NC State system, I can imagine that they'll end up doing that.
Yeah, that's a really interesting idea.
I think it's pretty fair. I mean, I'll be back if they end up doing that, I'll be back in Greenville, living on campus for a couple months with some undergrad, but it is what it is. I'm not too concerned about it.
Phil looks really confused. Phil, essentially, your semester starts early,
Yeah, it's going to start on August 10th. We don't get a fall break, and we basically run all the way through our classes until right before Thanksgiving. You basically finish everything before Thanksgiving, and that's it.
It's school from home, or is this?
No, it's on campus.
No, it'll be up there.
Okay, cool.
So on campus.
I think my mom is a professor as well, and they went the opposite direction. I think they went longer for fall break. So I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
What is Evan? Your dad's a professor. What's the deal with them?
They don't know yet, but I know. So everyone has until July 1st to make a decision. I should probably be a little more careful with what I'm saying here.
Oh, I guess so.
Everyone has until July 1st to make a decision. I know a lot of the Philly schools are going to go back on campus in the fall. So I don't know what the state's system itself is thinking about, really. But I it's so dependent school to school, because the Philly schools I don't think have a lot of commuters, and I think a lot of the schools that are outside of the city itself do, which makes things a little more complicated. But I'm sure everyone wants to be back on campus. I think is at the end of the day, it's just kind of figuring out logistics of how to make that work.
I would say so. People want to be back on campus.
Oh, good. Yeah, I was curious about that. Most
Alan,
students
tell
like
us
it.
more about how you want to be as far away from the place that you work as possible.
I do. I think some of the California schools, I think I've already said in the fall, we're doing as much online as possible at the university level. K through 12 is still like way up in the air as far as what's happening in August. Like, school districts are investigating options, and it's kind of a poop show. And then, teachers are like, everything's bargainable. So it's like the school district can be like, we want everyone back, and the teacher can be like, whoa. I think there's just a lot of question marks over student and educator safety.
Right.
I think that's the biggest point. I think with universities, there's smaller classes in some of those schools, and they can deal with it. But when you have 200 middle school kids who all like to sneeze and cough over everything, it's a little bit more dangerous. But it is very much like, it's the weirdest feeling in the world. Like, I'll be checking in keys in a week and a half, and then I don't know when I'll be back in my classroom. It's such a weird experience, right? So but it's one of those things where you plan on everything being normal, and then you kind of pivot from there. I think is how everyone's doing it. Is we'll plan on being brick and mortar, everyone's showing up to class, and then if we need to pull it back a little bit, we can pull it back. If we need to go all online for a while, we can go online. But it is much like how we are with USL. Everything's very much up in the air, and I don't think anyone really knows a whole lot.
Yep.
I mean,
Phil, you are general contracting thing, and with many children, what's the happenings out there in St. Louis?
Well, to compare to what Alan just said, I got a 1-year-old, 4-year-old, and almost 7-year-old, and so yeah, if they went to school, social, like getting these kids to social distance, I can't imagine that working. You know what I mean? So that's a challenge even at the middle school age, like you said, Alan. There, so as a parent, that's kind of what I'm wondering about next year. I'll support whatever decision is made as long as I think it's safe, though. But I mentioned it before. The building I work in all the time is elderly. It's like independent living, but it's like 60 and up for the most part. And so, I'm being really, really careful with myself, because I can't mentally take the responsibility of, I could kill one of my residents. It could be my fault. That will hang over me forever. So anyway, that's kind of the weird thing about where I work. I don't know. I thought it was interesting that Alan said, it's just like the USL, and a lot of things with the USL, we forget that they're just another job, just another workplace. That they're dealing with all the same things all of us are all dealing with as well.
And I think the other thing that's also crazy is we might be safe enough, but we have to convince people that it's safe enough too. Like, it's not just, all right, it's safe enough to open. Now people who are already a little bit anxious about how things are going to go, we have to convince them that this is a safe thing to do. Like going out to restaurants. Yeah, restaurants might be opening up, but most people are like, I'm going to pass on that. I'll wait for a minute. Yeah. So it doesn't matter that they're open.
And it's funny because you have literally throughout the course of the day in a grocery store, essentially, I have people that run the entire gambit of responses from hey, it's really crazy that we're out here and that you guys are still open, to I'm high risk and I don't care. And it's it's really weird having to deal with both extremes at the same time, and I don't know, having to not I don't know, discredit any of that necessarily, just because it's not worth it. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be a lot of it'll be some convincing people to be hey, it's cool, to come out or whatever, and then there'll be a lot of the opposite, where it's like, hey, don't like go crazy now that things are finally starting to, roll back out. So who knows? No one knows. That's the fun part. Is no one knows. It's all uncertain. Have we all been watching the Bundesliga? Have we not been watching the Bundesliga?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes.
I'm so happy.
So happy.
I'm just happy to have sports back.
Yeah.
A little bit, right? I thought it was funny that John Anthony Brooks, of all people, kept Real Holland in his pocket for most of that game. That was a weird one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone went off on him having an own goal in the previous game, but yeah, he did really good with Holland. I think he should be proud. Yeah.
John Brooks is such a strange character in like American soccer to me, just because it's like he had the World Cup or the Gold Cup goal that everyone remembers, and like has been good. Like he's been in the Bundesliga for years now. I think it was like Schalke and then Hertha, or maybe just Hertha and then Wolfsburg.
forget
Yeah,
where
it was
he
just
was.
Hertha and Wolfsburg. He had 119 appearances with Hertha from 2012 to 2017, and Wolfsburg since 2017 with 55 appearances.
It's crazy. I would love to see him in MLS. I'm just gonna say it.
No.
No?
Oh,
No.
he's too
Keep
good.
him in Germany for as long as he can, because he's currently one of our own
But it's
of
not-
our center back pairings.
Yeah.
He has a center back role in the men's national team.
I see him drop into like Netherlands or Turkey or even Belgium before he goes to MLS. I think.
It'd be cool if he wanted to play with Vincent Kompany on Anderlecht, but that won't happen.
Oh my gosh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
I actually feel like if he's going to go to MLS, he would go directly from Germany. That if given the option of slugging out on someone in the Netherlands that's not PSV, Alkmaar, or Ajax, that he would probably rather play for someone in MLS than someone who is almost guaranteed not to win the Eredivisie title. So, unless he's joining one of those three sides, I feel like he would choose MLS over a random club in the Netherlands.
Either way,
Yeah,
lucky
I have
to
not
have
been
him.
watching any Bundesliga.
Good for you. I mean, like out of weird protest thing, or just you haven't
I
had
watched-
time?
I watched the first. Well, part of it is like getting up that early on a weekend.
Yeah, no, that's
for, like I'm not like emotionally attached to the Bundesliga, so
Sure.
West
Um,
Coast.
But and then like I watched one of the matches last weekend with the sound on, and it felt very surreal.
I love it. As someone that's used to not having crowds in games, I love it.
It's like so my wife today was like, we were talking about it, and I was like, I've seen like I enjoy sometimes watching those matches because you can hear the players yelling at each other and talking to each other, and it's a really cool experience to like hear that communication. But knowing why the stands are empty was, I think, the thing that made me a little uncomfortable. Like, it's not like I'm watching the team formerly known as Swope Park Rangers, where I'm expecting it to be empty and I'm expecting that feeling. But to watch like this, one of the top leagues in the world be empty was a little surreal.
But like, that's the funny thing. Like, for as much like slack as the MLS2 teams get or whatever, or just reserve sides in general in sports, it's like I always think it's interesting to watch a game, at least domestically too, because one of the indicators of a good team is how vocal they are. And I think that's super apparent when there's like 300 people in the stands and you can hear everything from the press box.
Oh, for sure. And I've watched my fair share of like single A baseball in the Florida State League, and have loved every minute of that because you can get down low and you can hear the coaches talking to the players and the players talking to each other. And I get that part of it. I think it would just trip me out when you're watching something that you wouldn't expect to have that experience, and then to know why you're having that experience to me was like, I might end up watching it in the next couple weeks, but I haven't been super motivated to get up early and watch. I just rather sleep in and not watch a game at 6 in the morning.
Totally fair. Ryan, on the subject of hearing a lot during soccer matches, has there been any in your long and illustrious history of watching lower division American soccer, has there been any player to player or coach to referee or whatever banter that has stuck out in your mind all these years later?
I can't say if there's been like any like player to player or coach to referee moment that has like truly stuck out, but I have noticed, at least with Wilmington Hammerheads, when playing in like high school stadiums and stuff, that you can be like right on top of opposing team managers. There's that you can tell when you have those coaches that like recognize you and actually know you're there, when they just go about their daily business, that if they turn around and like talk to their assistant manager on the bench. But when there are those managers who just stare straight ahead and like do not turn around, do not interact with you, you know that they hear you and such. But it's like it's been different, that there's not like a true moment that has like stuck out to me within lower division soccer. It's just that there's like just the fact that you're playing in a smaller stadium. It's just that you can tell when players can like hear and listen in on what you're saying at them, and when that they just tune everything out. Because I imagine, especially if you're a professional, you get to a point where it's like, yeah, if someone's chanting something from the crowd, I can just tune it out, or it doesn't register with me.
It's my goal to get a player
nice,
to look at me out of the corner of his eye. It's like my goal in a game.
Okay.
We had a nice exchange with a keeper during an Arena League match. There was like the Sockers were supposed to play Turlock, which were terrible last year, and they were, I think it was Dallas, and we started singing "Are You Turlock in the Skies" because they were just losing terribly. And the goalkeeper from their team like turned around, walked into the goal, was like, "Guys, that chant was actually pretty funny. Good job." So I think they hear you. I just think that especially opposing players don't want you to know that they hear you, because they don't want to encourage you to continue to harass them, I guess.
Yeah, you want to avoid
a yelling match.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I got in a yelling match with a hitting coach in minor league baseball. That was a fun one.
That's awesome.
But
That's awesome.
I do think they don't want to give into it. It's like being a teacher or being a parent. Like, you don't want to give in to that, because then they know they can get you, and so you don't want to give them that response, because then will keep going and keep going. They don't let up.
Yeah, you want to avoid a Tim Howard and Blue Hell situation, telling the SKC supporters to SCFU for that. But I mean, I know when I was at an Atlanta Braves match when the Philadelphia Phillies came to town, I was sitting near the Phillies dugout when they were or the away dugout in Atlanta, and I was right near the on-deck circle, and I got Ryan Howard to at least turn around and actually like look back at me when I was like just chanting his name, or just saying it's like wave at me or something. So at least that's one acknowledgement.
Phil, do you have anything that comes to mind? I know there's one of my favorite gentlemen like to make you guys really mad, but I'm sure there's been other button pushers to come through St. Louis.
Yeah. Actually, if he came to St. Louis and I had enough drinks, I would have tried to get a reaction out of him, Jumbo. That would have been really cool. But
you probably would have succeeded. I mean,
is that an easy?
Yeah, I don't know what you count success as, but I think you would have. Yeah.
Just to look over is all I'm asking for. You know, if I get more, that's a win.
Yeah. I forget. Oh God, it was you might know. It was either 2016 or 2017. The last game of the season, Bethlehem played St. Louis, and that game was a little chippy and a little weird, and I think it ended in a draw or something. And then I just remember a lot of the Steel fans just being happy that you guys didn't make the playoffs that year, and one of your like weird Serbian guys was like really pissed off.
Yep. Yeah, Ivan Mirkovic gets pissed off a lot. So it was definitely him. Those two guys going at it. Some cards were definitely involved. I remember that game faintly, but I think my favorite memory. There's one where I was just like out of my mind. just screaming at James Musa, and I got his attention for sure. I just would not stop just screaming at him.
Why would you scream at James Musa?
Well, because he used to play for St. Louis, and he got beat on a corner by one of our tiny, like fast wingers, and he got beat for a goal on the corner. He lost his marker, and I lost my mind. I loved it. But the biggest one was Mark Segbers on Memphis now. He was playing with KC last year, and he plays right back, and so he was kind of up and down the right wing. He had just dove hardcore, like real obvious. He dove and got the foul, and I was right there walking in my seat, and the play went to the other side of the field, and so he was just kind of walking around in his general area, and I was like, "Yo, Mark, you don't gotta do that, man. You're better than that. Come on, what are you doing?" And he looked over, he like shrugged, and then he pointed at the ref, and I knew what he meant. Like the ref was calling everything, so he dove. He did the right thing, you know, but he like talked to me while the game was going. It was
That's
great.
Really funny. I used to love at either park because they were both very not well attended. Toronto FC 2 and Bethlehem when it was Jason Bent as their coach. So 2015 to 2017.
Whoa.
Because the fourth official would just get yelled at by Brendan or Jason for 90 minutes. So they would go back and forth between standing closer to one or the other, depending on who wasn't talking to them as much. And like that's one of my favorite things in soccer in general. But I think it happens a lot more when at USL or just lower division levels, just because you're closer to it and there's less space in between the two coaching boxes, where you'll see the fourth official kind of just walk away from a coach who's yelling at them.
And that's the sad thing for me. On the last thing on that topic is that that's the stuff I'll miss when St. Louis goes to MLS. It's so sad. Like even going to a sporting game, a Sporting KC game, they don't hear anything on the field, or if they do, it's very easy for them to not, to pretend they didn't hear it. And so I miss that, man. I hate going to big games and not having the thing where like I'm sure they hear me.
There's something to be said as someone that's frequented in very different capacities, like USL and MLS games, where MLS games I'm just kind of a spectator, and USL is just kind of a weird, I've laid down on training fields and hung out during practices just to be there. But there's something to be said about like the electricity and the atmosphere of like an MLS environment where you have that many people at one time showing up for this one thing. It's all very cool and there's buzz and it's very exciting. But a lot of the weird, like kitschy sort of homey things about USL where it's like you can literally hear everything, and players aren't super cognizant that they're being watched by like 2,000 other people. It's really exciting.
Yeah, you get the weirder stories in the lower division.
Yeah, there's some fun. Yeah.
And I interviewed one of the guys who founded like the supporters group in Orange County for the website, and I was asking him like, how long you've been a fan? He's like, I've been a fan since they were the LA Blues, and we would take couches and set up couches right by the corner flag and yell at players while they were taking corner kicks because there weren't any stands. It was just like this open field. Yeah. And we had to bring our own seats and bring our own. We had our coolers with our beer, and it's like
that's right.
Like,
I forgot.
That is so
like,
good.
I hope everyone in Orange County, if you were there when they were the LA Blues, is not offended by this because I'm on the East Coast, so I don't really have any firsthand knowledge. But I like forget how many stories about how shitty that ownership group was, existed.
Yeah, when you look into like how long that team's been around, and you're like, why are they not like a bigger part of the community? And then you start talking to people, and they're like, well, because they really didn't care to be part of the community. They didn't do anything. And now that they've been, I think this is like their 10th year. It's crazy. They've been around forever. And the fact that it, like, through the different iterations, like LA Blues and OC Blues and then rebranding Orange County, like, you can tell that they're moving in that right direction, like, year to year. But some of those stories from the first year are just, first couple years are incredible. They're just, like, it's the Wild West of soccer. And these guys have, like, it's, like, not that long ago, one. And number two, there's still, like, people around who are going to tell you these great stories of
I mean, Cal United's nearly equaled them in attendance figures in that time.
Yeah.
But like going back towards just talking about like just lower division stuff, I feel like that's just something you can experience a lot more, regardless of sport. Like the further down you go, like I'll take college sports then as an example. That I was able to throw a football with an Old Dominion football player or one of their punters in pregame of one of the ECU football games, just because I was one of the few people in the student sections, and they always warmed up near our end zone.
That's
or
funny.
in like basketball, like I'd always make signs for all these games, and I'd get reactions from players. Like I made one sign towards the Houston Cougars when they came into town, and into Greenville, North Carolina, and I actually got like reactions from the entire team, just kind of like laughing at the sign that I made, or just any like response to it. So I feel like that's something that would happen more if you're at the lower level, which is why I think all of us are so big fans of being in lower division soccer, that we just can't get this experience if you were fans of any of these upper level clubs like an MLS.
Yeah.
Or even more so if you're looking at the upper level USL clubs. I can imagine when Louisville moves into their new stadium, whenever we get play started back up again, that there will be still a certain distance of separation that basically didn't exist in their in Louisville Slugger Stadium, that will now exist when you move to the new place.
100%. It's actually really funny that Alan in our chat wrote that OC was founded in 2010. Not terribly long time ago as far as soccer clubs are concerned.
And they were founded off the back of a USL women's league team.
Well, that's interesting too.
And OC feels old compared to everyone else in the league.
And like, with that kind of history, this is a weird. Welcome to Orange County. What could have been podcast, but like they should be bigger rivals with Sacramento.
Alan, thoughts?
I mean, I've been on this bandwagon for a while, like being kind of outside Orange County, and I was blown away by how the lack of community awareness there is around that team.
Yeah.
For how good that team has historically been the past couple of years.
Yeah, especially
like,
since Cloutier got there. Yeah.
Right, and he's fantastic. Like he's so intense and so intimidating, but so warm and welcoming in the same time. It's so weird.
Yeah.
No, just like it was mind-boggling when you compare it to some other teams that have rebranded recently, that have just really tapped into their community that Orange County hadn't, and they should be bigger just based on what's happened on the pitch. But like you have, right. I know I've probably told this story before, but you signed Michael Orozco. And there's one guy who does a written interview, not even like a TV spot, not even like a web series stuff, nothing. Like I'm the second person to interview Michael Orozco, and it was like awesome.
Pathetic.
Well, yeah. He was like, we have this set up for the press. We're like, what press? It's me and Dylan who do the Orange County podcast with Ray. Like that's it. That's the press at most of those games.
What a shame.
So it's right. And like what attracted me was the first time I watched them live was a playoff game. I think it was 2 years ago against Reno. It was like a 1-0. It was right after the St. Louis game. So it was like the second round. And I'm like, they play so fun. Like, it's such an engaging game to watch. It's exciting. The stadium is great because you're right up on the pitch and you can hear people talk to each other. It was like everything you want. I was like, why aren't there more people here? And it never made sense. I think it's partially location of the stadium. Where they are in Orange County and Irvine isn't really close to any type of like huge soccer environment. But, I mean, there's no reason why Orange County shouldn't be drawing 5 to 6 a week.
Agree. It's a great product.
Yeah, and it's a shame that it's not. And I know that there's a lot of people who do a lot of the supporters are loud and they're passionate, and they do. Like I've talked to Andy, he's like one of the super fans. He's like, I've invited every one of my friends 12 times. I'm sick of inviting them and telling me no. And then we have a watch party, and someone goes, "Oh, this is a team in town." We're like, yeah, they play just down the street. They're like, are you kidding? We're like, yeah. here's a bobblehead, bring your kids. Like, I just don't think they were doing enough of that, and I think they're trying to.
Yeah.
So we'll see in the next couple of years. Maybe they pick it up. But
Alan, I have an idea for Orange County if they want to try to really connect with the community, get back into their good graces of people. They should send out a bunch of copies of a way too busy and kind of cluttered and not that nice looking third kit to a bunch of national media members who won't care about them in like 3 weeks.
Oh, I will pitch that idea. Idea.
Because like it looked like it worked pretty well. And listen, if they're looking at it from a financial standpoint, right? If those cost $100 and 100 people buy them, they're set.
Right? Like, I think
and
they
that's
should,
all that
like,
matters.
Like Grant Wall should get one.
Yeah. Pablo Moore, who doesn't write about USL, should get one. Zita Madhu, who is one of my favorite writers but is unemployed right now, should get one.
Like, how far up the ladder are we going?
I
we
think
doing, like,
you
Taylor
should
Twellman?
send one to MLS's director of communications. That'd be cool. Taylor Twellman should get 5. Don Garber, maybe.
That's not a bad shot. I'll definitely.
I honestly don't know where I came up with that idea, but I must have seen it.
Just out of the thin air.
Out of thin air.
Some team should hire you for a marketing strategy.
They should. The idea just kind of dripped down the ether, and
well,
here it is. Here it is. Yeah.
I mean, that is the question. Is it getting closer and closer to the lights?
Yeah.
Are they like burning? Are they burning that?
Honestly, I think it's weird because a lot of people look at wilting as a bad thing, but I think if Ford Madison kept wilting around, they could have avoided some trouble.
I think what benefits Ford Madison is the fact that they're good. They've made the playoffs and the lights haven't.
It's true. On field, they are better at higher. On field, they're better than lights.
It would be different if this Ford Madison side was bottom of USL League One, below a couple MLS 2 sides, but they're actually a solid team on the field, and I think that benefits them. If we would treat Ford Madison like Las Vegas Lights if they played like Lights on the field.
The thing that's crazy is lights still draw. Like,
yeah.
Well, because they do so much random shit that you're like, yeah, I'll go to that. Fuck, who cares?
It's a party.
And it also helps.
It
helps that they're in Vegas, and I can guarantee you, when Vegas draws 100,000 tourists a week,
right,
that I can almost guarantee there's going to be 5,000 people who say soccer match. Yeah, I'll try a soccer match for 2 hours. When it ends at 9 o'clock and the night is still young, and I'm in my hotel room by 3 a.m.
Right.
That's the same argument I make to get my wife to go to soccer games. It's only 2 hours. It's fine.
I mean, it's a nice 2.5.
And not only that, when you can go through the summer, when you don't have the Vegas Lights or Vegas Golden Knights, when you don't have the Las Vegas Raiders, which God feels weird to say, hey, when you can bet on the Las Vegas Lights during the summer, and you can say, not only can you bet on this, but you can bet on it and go watch it. Why not go watch it and see what you can do? Ooh, I can see people just like tuning out for that.
Well, it's true. I did go to a Portland 2 versus Los Dos game when I was in Portland, because it was the only game I can get to because I was busy when Portland played. So I mean, I was one of 8 people, but I can get that sentiment of, well, we're in town, we enjoy soccer, there's a local soccer team.
Was that at Providence?
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Well, I mean, there you go.
Tickets were $4 total.
Sort of.
That's what I did when I was in Scotland. I just found random ass towns in the nation that just had soccer teams. So whether that was Glasgow, Edinburgh, Dumbarton, Paisley for St. Mirren, or Greenock Morton, it was just like, yeah, if there's soccer there, I will go and I will watch it. And I feel like Las Vegas Lights has appealed well to that. It's like, yeah, this is soccer. It's live. And, yeah, we'll toss money out of a helicopter for you if you want to show up.
That's the other thing. It's like, hey, you want to go to a soccer game? Oh, yeah, we're going to drop money out of a helicopter. Okay. And we have llamas. Like, it's just such a strange...
Well, once you go there and you see it, though, a couple things are at play because I would say it's not tourist at all because Cashman's downtown Vegas. It's not near the Strip, really. You know, it's fine by Uber. It's no big deal. That's what we did to get there. But it's not close either. And it's not like, oh, this hotel will drop you off. It's just, it's out there. It's mostly locals. It's mostly, like, Vegas people. And it's a lot of families and a lot of, like, people like us, our age, you know, going out there and drinking beer and having a party. It was awesome. The night was electric there, and I hope it keeps going. But I think that whole people visiting on a holiday thing, it'd be nice to get more of that. I don't know if it would be easy though.
And we shouldn't bemoan any team that has local support. I mean, this is fantastic for Vegas that they have the amount of support that they get.
Guys, I'd like to close on a final topic or a final thought that I have, and I don't think anyone's ever discussed it on this show. Phil, I'll start with you. Although the question will be diminished because it'll be asked 3 times, and by the 3rd time it'll be a little less absurd, maybe. On a scale of 1 to 10, Phil, how upset are you that we were robbed of a chance to see Didier Drogba celebrate a USL Championship title with Fall Out Boy bassist Pete Wentz?
I don't think I know this reference. What
Pete Wentz,
happened?
part owner of Phoenix Rising.
Yeah.
Didier Drogba.
So because they lost is what you're saying.
Because they lost.
Yeah.
And we very clearly could have gotten both those gentlemen on the soccer field at the same time celebrating a championship.
That would have been so crazy. I would love to see it. So what would that be? Between 1 and 10?
1 and 10, how upset are you that didn't happen?
Like,
in a weird intersection between your love of Chicago-based emo punk bands and Didier Drogba.
Now that we're thinking about it and I'm really starting to dwell on it, I'm really going down a cliff. Like a 12, you gotta keep some guns away from me for a week or two. You know what I mean?
Well, hey man, I don't know where your safe is. So, Alan, would you have liked to see Pete Wentz whisper the lyrics to Grand Theft Auto to Didier Drogba on the field during the championship celebration?
This is a tough question to answer because
it is because it implies that Didier Drogba's a big fan of Fall Out Boy, and I don't know how big they are on the Ivory Coast. You're right.
But also, if you answer one way, you have one set of fans who are going to get mad at you. The other way, you have another set of fans. But in that picture, like as a neutral, I like a 9. That would have been a great moment. But I do think. I do think we missed an opportunity there of some great crossover opportunities, and
I think we did.
That's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 9. I'm gonna go a little bit down from Phil. I'm not gonna go out of my mind, but it is pretty. I am pretty mad that we lost out on that.
Ryan, I'd love to paint you a picture real quick if I could. It's the final. It's Drogba. It's our friend Sam Dorr. He's there. He's thinking about going undefeated with a $1 beer streak, but first they need to win this championship. They get there. Pete Wentz has his bass. He's feeling a little nostalgic. He's screaming. They're mispronouncing the word stallion in one of their songs. They're celebrating on the field with Didier Drogba. And in the background, you just hear, hey, listen, Didier, I'm just a notch in your bedpost, but you're just a line in the song. And then Drogba's like, that's great, but I've won so many titles, Pete. I don't know what to do with this. Can you just, I don't know, just swing around sometime and we'll get a beer and we'll talk about this in great depth. Ryan, I hope you're old enough to get those references. I'm a little concerned.
I at least know who Pete Wentz is.
I really thought you were going to say I at least know who Didier Drogba was, and I was going to.
I know who Drogba is as well, of course, but I also know who Pete Wentz is.
Cool. Great.
But I have long since been an advocate that Everyone in USL needs to take a road trip to Las Vegas. Just Las Vegas doesn't need to play any road games in their season. Everyone just needs to travel to Vegas.
Fair enough. Phil's in our chat misremembering lyrics to songs.
Swing, swing, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you want an Eastern Conference reference,
Google that.
New York Red Bulls 2 needs to move to Atlantic City, and everyone in the Eastern Conference can go to Atlantic City for a weekend.
I have that Aces owner's business card somewhere in this apartment. We could make that work. Anyway.
All-American Rejects.
Thanks for... Tyson Ritter doesn't own a USL franchise. He's got him with DeMarcus Beasley in Fort Wayne.
Oh my gosh. Is that... Are they from there?
No.
Oh, your connection there was going to be amazing.
That's where DeMarcus Beasley is from.
Yeah. That's not who we're aiming for here. No. If anything, All-American Rejects would hang out with like Bradley Bourgeois now.
Probably, yeah.
Which would be kind of hot. I don't know where Stillwater is in relation to Tulsa, but there you go. Anyway, on behalf of all of us here at the USL show, I'm Evan. That was Phil. That was Alan. That was Ryan. That was us rambling for about an hour, and we ended on talking about Fall Out Boy. So join us next week when I try to correlate Mesa, Arizona's Jimmy Eat World with the, three-time champion Louisville City dynasty, if you will.
Well done.
I'll do it. It'll be your new aesthetic.